right, so let's begin the show and let's talk about cancer care policies or critical illness policies where you also have the treatment of cancer covered. When we talk about financial planning, having the right kind of insurance is definitely the first step towards getting it right. And we usually talk about having the right kind of life insurance, the right kind of health insurance. But then, yes, looking at the increasing cases of cancer, and because we also have insurance players who have a dedicated product for cancer. Let's figure out all the details on how you can cover yourself for this critical illness also. I have with me Parthanil Ghosh, Director and Chief Business Officer, HDFC Ergo General Insurance, and I'll also be joined by Siddharth Singhal, Head of Health Insurance, Policybazaar.com. Hi Parthanil, good evening and welcome to the show. Okay, so let's just break it down for our viewers, because when we talk about insurance, it's usually life insurance or health insurance that comes to our mind. But why is it also important to have yourself covered with a special policy, maybe for cancer or a critical illness, which might cover all these critical illness policies? Parthanil.
Kavita, thank you very much. And you have raised a very, very vital point of why someone needs to be covered for cancer. Cancer, in any case, is a very, very distressing news for the person who is diagnosed with that or the family members. In fact, some of the recent studies say that 1 out of every 9 people are diagnosed with cancer in India. So it's a very, very important or a very critical health issue which needs to be covered for a financial part of it. Coming to this, the cost of treatment is extremely high, and thereby the financing of it, and it's a long-term kind of a treatment. So it is very important that why we need to be covered for a health insurance, a comprehensive health insurance if it is there, or only a cancer-related policy, or even the critical illness policy, which covers typically 51 illnesses. If I just put a break on this particular issue of the product, I would also like to say that it is important that to see that how this entire servicing of this policy is done, so that the customers or the policy holders can devote most of their time in treatment and not most of the times in administering the policy.
Partha, I definitely want to know about the features and the kind of coverage you offer in HDFC Ergo Cancer Care Policy. Is that the name of the policy, and what will be the features and the benefits that you're offering and the kind of coverage that one might want to consider? Parthanil.
Kavita, we have our flagship comprehensive health insurance cover called Optima Secure. Optima Secure covers all kinds of treatments, including the ones of cancer, which is the initial treatment and the advanced treatment. And while I talk about cancer, one specific area that HDFC Ergo has looked into is to the servicing of the policyholders. When it comes to cancer, if the cancer is diagnosed and the policyholder has to undergo multiple sessions of chemotherapy, it's a very, very distressing situation where the 5 sessions, 6 sessions, or 10 sessions have to be done. Normally, all insurance companies ask for a cashless approval at each and every point of time of these sessions. We, as a part of the policy, what we have done that we have asked the policyholders to take one-time approval for a cashless for the entire 6 sessions or 8 sessions as the doctor suggests. And if those are taken in the same hospital, then you come for one-time approval, a pre-approved cashless for the entire treatment of those sessions of the chemotherapy. So this is one of the very, very distinct benefit that the HDFC Ergo comprehensive coverage for Optima Secure gives. Apart from that, we have a critical illness policy, which covers 51 critical illnesses. And of course, cancer is one part of that. Beyond that, based on the regulatory requirements, all our policies, including this comprehensive policy of Optima Secure, which includes cancer, also gives you a lifelong guarantee for a lifelong renewal guarantee, means till whatever age, till one's death, it can be covered. Coverage for both conventional and advanced treatments, as well as inpatient and outpatient treatment costs. Lump sum amount when it is diagnosed with cancer, especially for this critical illness cover, which is a benefit product. Coverage for second medical opinion, and reimbursement for treatments of expenses 30 days before hospitalization and 60 days after hospitalization. And definitely, as I mentioned, all the chemotherapy sessions as a when and in the manner the doctor suggests.
All right. Parthanil, for those already diagnosed, they cannot get the coverage as per your policy, right?
Oh, Kavita, because insurance, you
Sure.
understand that you take it when it is not diagnosed, and if it is diagnosed, then there is no probability. So then it's
Sure.
pure expense.
Sure, got that. But Siddharth, we do have policies who give you the coverage even after you being diagnosed, right?
So yeah, I think Kavita had mentioned by Parthanil as well. So obviously the number of options which are there in the market are extremely limited if a person is already diagnosed. So I think health insurance as a concept, obviously works when you purchase a health insurance policy, a comprehensive health insurance policy, which not only covers cancer but other treatments as well. And I think it's always advisable to buy health insurance policy as early as you can. When you are fit and fine, you have a lot more options. But yeah, once a person gets diagnosed with cancer, there are obviously options by different insurer, but the options are extremely limited. That is one, or either limited in terms of the sum insured also. So I think that's how what we recommend to the customers is to, one, buy early, and second most important point is, see, cancer. A lot of people have this notion that I have already bought a health insurance policy, but it's equally important to buy the right sum insured in the policy. Because if somebody is buying, let's say, a 5 lakh rupees policy or a 10 lakh rupees policy, may not be sufficient for a cancer treatment, where the cost can go up to 30-40 lakhs or even higher, depending on the case to case. So I think it's extremely important to go for a higher coverage, opt for policies where you get a lot of cumulative bonuses as well. And obviously, from a servicing aspect also are better. So I think that is extremely critical for a cancer perspective.
Sure. Also, Siddharth, when we talk about critical illness or when we talk about cancer-related insurance policies, what is the ground homework that one needs to do before selecting the right kind of coverage for yourself? I mean, this is a very basic question, and I think also one very important key area where most people go wrong or miss out on things.
So I think I'll just probably try to simplify it. One is to buy a comprehensive health insurance policy, which would cover cancer and would cover any other incident which could lead to hospitalization, like accident or dengue or malaria or anything else. So I think first and the foremost is the person has to ensure a comprehensive health insurance policy, opt for higher sum insured. Once a person is insured, that the critical illness policies are kind of a policies which give you a fixed benefit. Example, in the case of a cancer is detected, the policy will provide you with a lump sum amount which would take care of your daily general expenses. There could be a scenario that a person who's diagnosed with cancer is not able to go to work for 6-7 months. So a normal comprehensive health insurance policy would pay for the hospitalization expenses, but the daily living expenses, etc., are something that get really hit in these long standing diseases. That is where the critical illness policies come into picture. So key things, one is to opt for the right sum insured, look at the kind of the, let's say, the survival waiting periods in a critical illness policy. And I think the first and the foremost, like I mentioned, is to opt for a good comprehensive health insurance policy.
Also, Siddharth, I want to understand when and how these policies come into effect. I mean, you take a coverage, a cancer care coverage or a policy. Is there a cool-off period or a waiting period? Post that only that policy would be activated if there is a case that needs an activation of this policy.
Sure. So I think all comprehensive health insurance policies would have a 30 days of waiting period, which is what we say is the initial waiting period, wherein only accidental claims are paid out. Post 30 days, if somebody is detected with cancer for the first time, and there's been an incident, the person is now diagnosed with cancer. So right after 30 days, the policy can kick in. And if there's a hospitalization or chemo sessions, etc., which are required for the policy, then those will be paid by the policy. That is the first thing. The second thing is which is on the critical illness side. Different policies have different norms. Let's say if somebody is detected with the stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 cancer, then there are different types of lump sum payouts which a person can get in. there is generally a survival period in critical illness policies, which can range from anywhere between 7 days to 15 days. Post which, if the person survives for, let's say, after getting a critical illness for, let's assume 15 days, then the lump sum payout is made to the insured person.
Parthanil, in HDFC Ergo's policy, I just want to understand what's the kind of ideal cover that you might want to recommend someone to take, and also what would be the premium? Does it depend on the age factor, or what are the criteria for the premium that's decided? And also the amount of coverage that we are talking about. We're talking about cashless treatment also. How restricted it is in terms of hospitals and the kind of care that we get in India, and if one wants to go abroad and get the treatment done.
Kavita. So you have asked me 3-4 questions. Let me answer one by one. So first, I think Siddharth also mentioned about this entire thing called sum insured and what sum insured you want to take. If you take a 5 lakh sum insured, it will not be enough because you are buying a policy for your life, right? So if at the age of 30 or 35, someone buys a policy, maybe actually the policy will be required after 25, 30 years. Considering the medical inflation of around 10 to 12% per annum, it is very, very essential that you start buying a large health insurance policy. In my view, that you should start with something around 20, 25 lakhs at a very young age where the premium will be very, very low. And this one, along with the no claim bonus, and you can increase it as your income increases over the time. So that now with a 10-12% kind of inflation, if you take it for 20 years, and if a cost of the treatment today for a cancer is around 25 to 30 lakhs per annum, then you can understand that you have a sizable corpus. So I would suggest that one should buy a 20-25 lakhs of policy, some insured policy to start with, number one. Number two is that you asked about the premium rate. Premium rate will definitely depend on the geography, the age, and of course the sum insured. But I would only suggest that at a young age, between 25 to 30 years, you can actually buy a 25-30 lakh sum insured, which at the age of 40, at that same money, maybe you will be able to afford a 10 lakhs of sum insured. So buy young, buy a large amount, because today's policies are all of a lifelong renewal guarantee. So you
All right, so I think there is some technical issue, but Siddharth, all right, I think we got Parthanil back. Yeah, Parthanil, you want to continue?
No. I was saying that buying the policy at a young age will give you the benefit of buying cheap and buying a larger sum insured at the face of around 10 to 12% medical inflation. After 20 years or 30 years, when you will actually require this policy, you will have a sizable sum insured to take care of your cancer treatment.
All right. Last word of recommendation or suggestion on taking a cancer care policy from you, Siddharth?
So I think, as mentioned rightly by Parthanil, so I think the first is to start early, buy as soon as you can, because that's when you are fit and fine, you get a lot more options about cancer care. Go for policies, at least 40-50 lakhs of sum insured. There are a lot of policies where even up to 1 crore of sum insured is available, and at a very, affordable, I would say, in a manner. The third thing is, look for a policy which have, least amount of any kind of restrictions, be it in terms of room rent, be it in terms of disease-wise sublimits or something. So I think better to go for those. And largely, I think, like I said, you should have a comprehensive coverage first of all before you move on to a critical illness policy. I think that is extremely important.
All right, I think that will be all as far as covering all the important aspect of critical illness or cancer care policy is concerned. Thank you so much, Parthanil and Siddharth, for being on the show and helping our viewers with their way ahead in terms of covering themselves with cancer care policies. Thank you so much.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.